Thank you for attending the LIFULL Financial Results Briefing. The processing of a portion of our figures took longer than expected, and I apologize for the delay in the disclosure of our financial results. Since we uploaded our financial statements and other materials just before the Tokyo Stock Exchange deadline, we had to disclose today's presentation materials at 9 a.m. this morning. According to our original schedule, you would have been able to read through the materials yesterday to prepare for today's briefing, so we apologize for the lack of time available. Before we begin, I would like to introduce our attendees. President and CEO, Inoue Takashi. Director and Managing Officers, Yamada Takashi and Ito Yuji. Managing Officers, Tsutsui Keizo, Kawasaki Kohei, Fukuzawa Hidekazu, and Nagasawa Tsubasa. I would now like to begin the financial briefing. Good morning. I am Inoue Takashi, President and CEO of LIFULL. Thank you for joining us today. Also, as mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, we apologize that the disclosure of the financial result materials was delayed until this morning. To start off, I would like to explain that we were short 2.6 billion yen in revenue, about 7% short of our plan, and we deeply regret that we did not achieve this target. In addition, there was an impairment loss of 9.7 billion yen on our overseas subsidiaries disclosed yesterday. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Personally, I was very disappointed with the results of the previous fiscal year. However, we're not going to place blame on COVID-19, and I would like to make up for it by reflecting on what we could have done in the past year to avoid this situation in the future and growing internally. On the other hand, there will be no major changes to our midterm management strategy, which I will explain in detail later. We will continue to maintain our aggressive attitude and deliver results. I will be providing more details later on in the presentation, but we have made solid investments, and beginning this fiscal year, we will unveil an assortment of new products and services for LIFULL homes. By launching these features and promoting them extensively, we hope to achieve further growth in the medium to long term. I will now proceed with my explanation according to the materials. In the first half of today's presentation, we will discuss the financial results and the forecast for the current fiscal year. Then I will explain our business strategy. I would also like to devote some time to explaining our concept for global real estate investment platform. Finally, I would like to summarize the targets of our midterm management strategy. First off, I would like to note that there have been no changes in the focal points of our midterm management strategy. Homes will be making progress through a combination of our omni-channel approach and digital transformation. Overseas, we will push forward with our moving to direct strategy, our shift towards real estate portals in addition to our per-click based aggregation models. And in the other businesses segment, we will continue to grow by working to solve social issues, focusing on our existing businesses, particularly strengthening regional revitalization and services for senior citizens. Next, I would like to take this opportunity to review the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2021. As our key indicators continue to make steady progress, we would like to re-accelerate our growth while addressing the issues and challenges that we are aiming for in each business. First, in the home services segment, organic traffic has grown by 21% Y-on-Y. This has been one of our fastest growth periods in past years. The number of inquiries has also increased by 8%, and the number of properties listed has increased by 6%. As I will explain in more detail later, the service itself will evolve radically. This is where we will make our biggest investments. Next, I would like to talk about our overseas segment. As a result of flexible cost controls, segment profit grew 95% over the previous year. We also released a management tool for real estate professionals called Propit, for which I will provide more details later on in the presentation. Over 90% of our clients in target regions are already using this system. And for the future, we would like to work on accelerating the portal business in Latin America and Southeast Asia, where business has been at a slight standstill due to COVID-19. In regard to our new business endeavors, Living Anywhere Commons, a regional revitalization project, has expanded to 25 locations throughout Japan. In addition, we also launched a real estate crowdfunding website for specified joint real estate venture STOs, and we look forward to expanding our global real estate investment platform in the future. On this page, you will see some figures about the Japanese real estate market for your reference. Although the Japanese government has repeatedly announced states of emergency in several regions around the country, there is still an overall trend towards recovery. However, in the rental market, during the Tokyo Olympic Games, the number of people looking for a place to live decreased by 14% because people were most likely watching the Olympics on television. The Google search trend also shows a 16% decrease. In addition, sales of new-build detached houses and resale detached houses have been very strong due to COVID-19, especially in the suburban areas. Therefore, new listings for detached houses in the Tokyo metropolitan area have decreased by 33%, and the number of houses on the market has also decreased by 40%, a continuation of the previous downward trend. I would now like to discuss with you the financial results for the last fiscal year ended September 30th, 2021. First, sales revenue increased by 1.3% compared to the previous year, primarily driven by the increase in revenue of LIFULL Connect. On the other hand, due to the impairment loss of 9.7 billion yen that I mentioned earlier, operating income was 6.6 billion yen in the red, and consolidated revenue amounted to 35.8 billion yen, a 1.3% increase. On the other hand, SG&A expenses increased to 28.6 billion yen, an increase of 1.6 billion yen. The main reasons for this are 1.3 billion yen in advertising expenses and approximately 400 million yen in other expenses. Other than these costs, other expenses included research and development costs to enhance the LIFULL Homes website, as well as its products and services. Next, I would like to shed some light on the impairment loss. If there had been no impairment loss of goodwill in LIFULL Connect, operating income would have been about 3.1 billion yen. Sales revenue reached 35.8 billion yen. Cost of sales was about 4 billion yen, and general and administrative expenses were 28.6 billion yen. If you look only at other income and expenses, the operating income was 3.1 billion yen. However, the impairment loss of 9.7 billion yen caused a net deficit of 6.6 billion yen. Despite the impairment loss, revenue and profit in LIFULL Connect have been recovering steadily since the pandemic. Also, the fact that we exceeded our earnings forecast by 5.4% highlights this recovery. In addition, we have made further progress in integrating the management of Trovit, Michula, and other companies we have acquired, which has led to the reduction of overlapping costs, technological collaboration, and the integration of engineers for the past year. As a result, we have been successful in managing costs, and our operating income has increased significantly. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about our evaluation method for impairment. Since an adequate amount of time has passed since our acquisition of Michula, we are now more convinced of the feasibility of our strategy. Therefore, we are evaluating LIFULL Connect on its value in use, DCF, based on future cash flows that it will generate. We had been using DCF and multiples for valuation, but I will skip the description of each of these methods. In the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020, and the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2021, the book value was higher than the multiple valuation, so goodwill was partially impaired for this difference in the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. This time, we looked at the difference using the DCF method, and this is the background to the large impairment. As for the background, we adopted the DCF method because at the time of the acquisition, we planned to break even within 10 years. We have been met with a variety of different challenges and admit that our plans have been delayed. However, we do not have any plans to sell off this business and no longer are using the multiples approach. LIFULL Connect is a very important masterpiece in the overseas strategy of the LIFULL Group, and it is also a very important building block for our global investment platform for real estate, in addition for the real demand for housing. We will continue to invest and grow this business in the future, but at this time, we have taken an impairment loss for the difference. On the next slide, I would like to briefly talk about revenue and profit and loss by segment. The states of emergency in Japan and the varying conditions of the market have significantly affected the results for LIFULL Homes, while our cost measures have affected our overseas results, as I mentioned earlier. Therefore, sales revenue in the home services segment decreased by 1.6% compared to the previous year, while overseas sales increased by 10%, and sales in other businesses increased by 13%. Profit and loss for the home services segment has decreased by about 40%, but this is primarily due to growth investments. In the overseas segment, we have achieved a significant increase in profit because of effective cost management and the effects of a weaker yen. Next, I would like to discuss our key performance indicators, simplified measurements for our businesses. As has been our message in the past, we increase our overall revenue through the multiplication of average revenue per agent, or ARPA, and the size of our client network. Our client network has grown to 28,000 offices in Japan, a very large number. On the other hand, ARPA has decreased to about 78,000 yen. Although the number of clients is growing, revenue from the home services segment itself is decreasing, so ARPA as a whole is on a downward trend. We believe that it is important to improve ARPA, and we will continue to discuss these measures later in the strategy section. Next, I would like to touch on our statement of financial position and goodwill. Although there was an impairment loss of 9.7 billion yen on LIFULL Connect, the ratio of equity attributable to owners of the parent company is 61.9%, which I believe is a safe level. Because of the impairment loss, total assets increased to 45.8 billion yen, and total capital decreased by 5.1 billion yen to 28 billion yen, which is 61.9%, as I explained. You can also see at the bottom of the page that after the impairment loss, goodwill for LIFULL Connect is still about 10 billion yen. On our next slide, you can see the statement of cash flows. Cash and cash equivalents decreased by about 2.8 billion yen to 13.1 billion yen because of payment of taxes and bonuses, as well as repayment of loans payable and other factors. As for our dividend policy, we are unable to provide details as of today. The decision will be made at the Board of Directors meeting scheduled for November 17, 2021. As a point of reference, we are able to make considerations for non-recurring factors in our dividend policy. In this case, the large impairment loss on LIFULL Connect falls under this category, and we will decide on the dividend policy taking these factors into consideration on November 17th. I will now move on to the explanation of the earnings forecast for the fiscal year under review. For the fiscal year under review, we are forecasting sales revenue of 39 billion yen, an increase of 3.1 billion yen or 8.8% growth. SG&A expenses, on the other hand, will increase considerably by about 4.2 billion yen to 32.8 billion yen. The main reasons for this increase are, as I will explain later, investments in personnel, advertising, research and development, investment in systems, and outsourcing. As you can see here, the impact of the revised Personal Information Protection Law, which will be enforced on April 1, 2022, has not been factored into this forecast. We will closely monitor future developments and disclose information as appropriate. As many of you are already aware, when you click on a website or view it on your smartphone, the first thing that comes up is a button that asks if you want to accept cookies or not. Since this will be required after April 1, 2022, there is a possibility that will affect the click-through rate from the overall site traffic to inquiries. However, it is difficult to predict at this point, so we have not taken it into account. I would now like to talk about our growth strategy. We have positioned the fiscal year ending September 2022 as a year of investment and a year of hard work. As I mentioned before, we will be investing in SG&A to accelerate our growth, particularly in people, services, and promotion. People refers to strengthening our hiring strategy, with personnel expenses increasing by about 13% compared to the previous year, mainly due to investment in engineers developing our new products. The next area will be our service. This will be augmented by an additional 17% in system-related expenses. And finally, promotion will also increase by about 14%. To ensure that the innovations to our services reach users around the world, we also need to step up our promotion. These are the areas where we'll be making significant enhancements. On this slide, you can see some information about our human capital. We continue to work on increasing the motivation of our working employees and improving their productivity. In addition to strengthening recruitment, we are also working on health management, career support systems, and communication. Since the pandemic, remote work has become the mainstay of the company. So we are taking various measures to strengthen engagement, and over the years have implemented career support such as an internal multi-career option, employee-led seminars, and a business proposal system, while also taking care of the health of our employees. For your reference, we have also been conducting an employee engagement survey for the last 15 years, and this past year we set a new record high score. So, employee motivation remains very high, even in a difficult social and business environment. Next, I would like to shed some light on the transformation of LIFULL Homes. First, I would like to divide the targets of LIFULL Homes into the past and the future. Up until now, the focus has been on remitting more users to real estate businesses to increase the number of contracts. Therefore, the industry standard for evaluating performance of portals has been the numbers of incoming inquiries. However, as each company competes to send more inquiries, real estate agencies have more work to do. Our goal here is to innovate each user's search for a new home, and we are investing to fundamentally differentiate our services from the commoditized real estate portals of the past. As we continue to innovate our services, we will continue to encompass more real estate information. If we can radically change the way users search for a home, both users and real estate businesses will be more satisfied, which will, in turn, lead to high profitability for us. As for improving the user experience, we provide a full range of tools to help users sort through the massive amounts of information available to find just the right place to live. At the same time, we will help real estate businesses dramatically improve their efficiency by remitting users who are more likely to lead to quicker sales. On this slide, we have a more detailed look at the changes we are making. We've been expanding the basic functions of the portal to be more user-friendly and to support users in finding a new home. So far, we have enhanced the search so that it can be done from various angles, such as address, area, map, route map, commuting, real estate company, and many more. We have also made it possible to search by qualitative information, such as homes with views of cherry blossoms, or homes that have an ocean view, or even finding a home in a child-friendly neighborhood. We have also made nice-to-have search filters, while also providing automatic notifications for new listings, even when users aren't actively searching. However, although other companies in the same industry are competing to develop new products and attract customers, I do not believe that they are able to provide the user experience that users really want. Our goal is to maximize the use of AI and suggest properties which cater to each person's preferences, based on their search behavior and attributes, so that they can find the perfect home. Therefore, we will continue to launch a number of new personalized features backed by AI technology. Next, let's take a look at our omni-channel approach. We have been developing a consultation counter, Sumai no Madoguchi. In the past, Sumai no Madoguchi's advisors introduced real estate companies which cater to individual users' needs. However, in the future, we will use the data that we have accumulated and AI technology to automatically make more suitable proposals. We've also been communicating with customers in person at our offices or over the phone via email, video call, or messaging services. Our advisors listen to the user's wishes and their desires from a neutral standpoint and help them find and connect with the right real estate agency. We also have a high level of satisfaction with the service, with over 99% of users saying that they are completely satisfied. And the closing rate for real estate agencies is very high. As a result, we receive higher fees from our clients than for inquiries via the LIFULL Homes website. In the future, we'll be taking this even further by analyzing users' attributes and needs, as well as their past consultation history. We'll use this information to create a digital profile and combine it with AI technology to deliver a more personalized experience. Next, I would like to expand on how we've been enriching the details of our listings. As part of the change of our pricing structure in 2019, we allow clients to add previously paid optional services, such as panorama photos and staff comments, to their listings free of charge. As a result, the listings on our website have become more detailed. To quantify this for you, panorama photos staff comments, and other information like this have increased by about 30% since we've implemented these changes. We've also been working on automatically converting flat and 2D floor plans into 3D by analyzing the images using AI deep learning. The beta version was released in March 2021, and the official version was released on October 26, 2021. With this technology, users can do a 3D walkthrough of different properties. We have also already obtained a patent for this technology in Japan and applied for patents overseas as well. This feature allows you to move the viewpoint 360 degrees freely and integrates photos into the experience to help users better envision the space. Also, even if someone is currently living there, you can still get a feel for the property before they move out. Currently, there are already 2 million properties on LIFULL Homes for which users can experience this feature. Normally, it takes a lot of time, money, and effort to create 3D models one at a time. So, by automating this entire process, users can do 3D walkthroughs without any extra effort from real estate agencies. We believe that this feature will help users gain a better idea of the properties before they inquire, and will increase the likelihood that they will sign a lease. Next, I would like to talk about the quality of listing information. We're continuing to focus on improving the accuracy of the listings on our website. LIFULL Homes will continue to provide a reliable service with current and correct information. Over the years, we've started a number of different initiatives. Recently, we have linked the data of LIFULL Homes with the data of properties managed by Daito Kentaku Partners, the largest property management company in the industry, and have made it possible to automatically remove properties from LIFULL Homes as soon as they are no longer available. We will continue to strengthen our efforts to eliminate listings with incorrect information, mistakes, and delays in updates, and believe that this kind of experience will help us maintain user trust in the long term. In summary, we will work on providing a large number of properties, each with more detailed information. We will also continue to focus on the quality and actuality of listings to be able to offer AI recommendations to quickly find the perfect match for users. This in itself will be an unprecedented user experience and will overwhelmingly differentiate us from our competitors. Our goal is to act as a super hyper assistant that revolutionizes the way people move house, and I believe that this will set us apart in the market. My next point is that in order to ensure recognition of our services, we will continue to strengthen our promotional efforts. In the last fiscal year, we have expanded and enhanced our advertising channels and run commercials over the largest area ever. In the current fiscal year, we are working on transforming our services and will step up our efforts to make sure users know who we are. Next, let me move on to our overseas strategy. First of all, LIFULL Connect operates a number of different brands, but these can be broken down into cost-per-click aggregation services and portal sites. The aggregation sites Trovit, Michela, Nestoria, and Neuroa have an overwhelming volume of traffic, with a total of 170 to 180 million monthly unique users worldwide. Our strategy is to take the power of these sites to attract a high volume of users and redirect them to our portal sites to increase traffic, and finally, increase our overall client network. In our moving to direct strategy, we are focusing on growing our portals in key markets. We have also further increased the value of our offerings by introducing a service called Propit. Propit, a management tool for businesses, is becoming increasingly more popular, with 90% of our partners using the service compared to 18% in the second quarter and 36% in the third quarter. We're expanding rapidly. As the number of inquiries increases, our goal is to help real estate professionals manage their clients and increase the overall satisfaction and efficiency of their businesses. In addition, we're planning to expand our service offerings for real estate businesses, mainly by introducing a CRM and other systems to further improve convenience and efficiency while increasing the probability of closing a deal. Also for your reference, I would like to briefly explain what Propit is. In the past, brokers in our key markets in Latin America and Southeast Asia had to upload each property individually to each of our portals they were using, and they also received inquiries in different formats for each one. Now, with Prophet, these brokers can manage all of the properties in one place, with their listings appearing on both our portals and aggregation sites. They can also reply and respond to all inquiries from each side in one single place. We have received positive feedback from businesses that the system is easy to use and has improved their overall efficiency. On the following slides, I will discuss our efforts toward building a global real estate investment platform. As I have mentioned in the past, our goal is to make it easy to invest in small lot real estate products around the world, being able to buy and sell with just a smartphone. We want to provide new investment options, simple access to investing, a variety of choices, the ability to buy and sell, as well as a high level of transparency. Here you can see a little bit about the potential of the market. It's estimated that the world's real estate assets are worth about 37 quadrillion yen. In comparison, bonds and securities are about 14 quadrillion yen and 12 quadrillion yen respectively. So it's clear from a global perspective that we have a very large asset base. In Japan, for example, of the approximately 2.5 quadrillion yen in domestic real estate assets, only about 2% of all real estate is securitized in the form of J-REITs and other small lot securitized products. That means that 98% has yet to be securitized. As for the future, we estimate that the market will expand 340 billion yen in 2018 to about 13 trillion yen in 2026, and that it will continue to grow at a CAGR of nearly 60%. In this context, we need to develop the following. First, we need a way to attract investors. Next, we'll need small lot real estate financial products that can be bought and sold. Then, we will create a platform to match them with investors. But this will require the appropriate licensing and a sophisticated system. We already have our own media to attract investors, LIFULL Homes Real Estate Investment, and LIFULL Connect, a global tool to attract investors available in 63 different countries. Recently, we also acquired Cambia, a very popular site among real estate investors in Japan. On the other hand, we have connections to tens of thousands of real estate professionals and business partners across the country, and have the potential to digitally securitize small lots of real estate properties from them. To reach our goal, we are also engaged in business alliances and investments in overseas companies. We will be working with Securitize in North America and InvestaX in Singapore to promote digital securitization. As a platform for matching these needs, first of all, we launched a crowdfunding website related to real estate crowdfunding in 2021. We are already seeing results. Currently, our subsidiary LIFULL Investment holds licenses for financial transactions and money lending, as well as a real estate brokerage license. In the future, we would like to work more towards the global expansion of this business, as well as the appropriate licensing to handle financial products and create a secondary market. On the next slide is a summary of what we were aiming for in our midterm management strategy. Focusing on our existing businesses, we will be expanding revenue and the profitability of the entire group by working as a social enterprise actively seeking solutions to social issues. For this purpose, we created the LIFULL Agenda, an original framework for our ideal society. This information is already available on our Japanese corporate website. Within this framework, we are working towards solutions to a variety of social issues, such as the examples mentioned here, creating strong connections for thriving communities. Related businesses include regional revitalization and local match, a matching service for people interested in moving to rural communities. The world has been undergoing changes and becoming a place where diversity is valued. LIFULL Jinsei Sekkei, or life planning, is about living a life that accommodates all values. You can find a brief description of this on page 46 of the appendix. We were one of the first to establish a public interest incorporated foundation to conduct research on well-being, and have been working on how to help people achieve fullness in all aspects of their lives. In terms of medium to long-term growth, we are focusing on expanding the growth rate of sales in our midterm management strategy for 2025, And as I explained earlier, we will aggressively invest in growth. With these investments, we plan to achieve a CAGR of around 15% over this 5-year period. In the final year of the midterm management strategy, we will aim for an operating income margin of around 20%. We will continue to reflect on our previous endeavors and make sure that we implement our bold strategies to achieve the 15% CAGR and 20% operating income margin. This concludes my presentation, and I would like to now move on to the question and answer session. Question: You're aiming for a CAGR of 15% in the midterm management strategy, but you're short of the target of 9% Y-on-Y in the current fiscal year. Please give us the background. When do you expect to see the benefits of your investment, and to what extent do you expect it to lead to an increase in the probability of growth? Can you please provide quantitative information? Answer: Inoue. We do not currently disclose specific sales and operating income ratios for each fiscal year. Therefore, my answer remains that our CAGR during the 5-year term will be around 15%, and that we are aiming for an operating margin of 20%. As you mentioned, we have not yet recovered our investments for the fiscal year, but the main reasons for this are that we are investing in the people, systems, and promotion in the domestic homes business, as mentioned earlier. I'm not sure how short a period this will take to get a refractive index. To be honest, it will still remain a theoretical simulation until we start to experience the effects. We believe that the effects of advertising and promotion will gradually penetrate the market, and that users looking to move will experience our new products and find satisfaction in them. As word begins to spread, we believe that the strategy of differentiation against our competitors will become more apparent. It will also take about 2 to 3 years for the returns to catch up with the plan, rather than seeing returns in a single year. Therefore, although this is a little bit of a J-curve, we plan to make up for it in the 4th and 5th years. Question: In the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2021, you controlled investments in overseas businesses. Could you please explain your thoughts on this fiscal year? Answer: Inoue. This is very simple. We are a company with a large volume of organic traffic, but we also have paid traffic. Regarding online advertising for our overseas websites in Latin America, Europe, and Southeast Asia in 2020 and 2021, even if we had advertised in areas where there were increased numbers of cases of COVID-19, we would probably not have been able to attract customers, since people were not thinking about changing their residence in the first place. Therefore, we reduced our spending on advertising. On the other hand, other companies in the same industry and companies that compete with us in terms of advertising and promotion also refrained from placing advertisements, so we were able to keep up the CPA, the cost per acquisition per customer, very low. That multiplication allowed us to reduce advertising expense ratios below what we had originally planned, and to increase revenue through organic volume. This is the structure of our system. Question: On page 31, regarding LIFULL Connect, what is your medium-term image of the composition of sales and profits from portalization? Will you be implementing pricing structures such as the inquiry-based structure you have in the Japanese market? Answer: Inoue. First off, by switching from a pay-per-click aggregation approach to a pay-per-listing portal model, we are able to significantly increase the price per unit. So we are working on evolving our services into portals as soon as possible. However, we are only doing this in very specific regions. If there is a strong portal site in a developed country like Japan, and an aggregator that charges by click that suddenly says, "We will start a portal site," the portal site would say, "Well, we won't post on your site anymore." And the aggregator would lose revenue on its current sites. This strategy is difficult to implement in these kinds of countries. But for areas in the future where there is still not a dominant player, we are implementing our portalization strategy. First, we would like to make it into a normal, high unit price real estate portal. Then, we would like to increase the average revenue per client by, for example, providing a CRM or other business support tools. Whether or not we will adopt a model like in Japan, where we have inquiry-based billing, is not under consideration at this time, nor is it in our plans. Now, Mr. Tsutsui, if you have anything to add, please do so. Tsutsui: Yes, thank you for your question. As Inoue just said, some countries, developed countries, we will not be introducing portal sites and will continue our aggregation services unchanged. However, in the medium term, sales costs will be reduced to about half. I cannot provide exact details on this at the moment, but I do not think it will be more than that in the current midterm. Question. I am under the impression that the real estate investment area on pages 35 to 36 is a very large and promising market, but it is not as oligopolistic as domestic portals. So to what extent can you demonstrate your presence? I have the impression that there are many companies specializing in crowdfunding and intermediary services for overseas investors. Answer. Inoue. You're very right, and I believe that this market itself is still in its infancy. In Japan, commercial buildings and large-scale condominiums can be considered as REITs. The number of them is limited. The reason for this is that the origination costs and asset management costs are higher, so we tend to limit the number of properties to those that have a certain scale and are in the Tokyo metropolitan area. So here we're talking about a smaller version that includes rural areas. The market itself does not exist currently, where you can easily invest in a vacant house worth 10 million yen or 20 million yen, or own a condominium unit, as a further subdivided small lot product using a smartphone. That's what I'm talking about when I say this is a potential market. In the meantime, there's a small number of specialized companies that are using the specialized joint real estate venture law to divide up a building of 1 billion yen or 2 billion yen in size, and divide it over up to 49 people. Rather, I believe that by doing digital STOs and creating a platform where these investments can be liquidated more quickly and at a lower cost, the number of players will also increase. In the case of the securities market, what we're aiming for is to create a market as a platform, and to develop that market in such a way that players can easily join. This is what we're trying to do as a platformer here. Until about a year ago, there were no significant developments in this area, but recently, Kinetics, SBI Securities, Nomura Securities, Daiwa Securities, and others have joined forces to create digital securities. They have also mentioned the creation of a PTS exchange, so I believe that this kind of movement will accelerate in the future. We've been investing in this area for a long time and have been preparing, so we would like to keep up with this trend and make it a reality. Finally, I'd like to give you a little bit more information about our company. We were established in 1997 and promoted the digital transformation, or DX, of the real estate industry. Over the past 20 years, we've made a lot of progress in this area, and it's already become the norm to look for houses online or on a smartphone. Other companies in the same industry are also following suit, and I believe that we have become very commoditized in terms of service. In this context, what exactly do users want? They want to find the right home from among many options quickly and without hassle or anxiety. To achieve this, we will invest in a variety of ways to create a new user experience based on the know-how and systems that we have developed over the years. The products and services I have described today are just a few of the many that are and will become available. Due to our competitive strategy, we're not able to say everything openly, so we're only disclosing a portion of the information. With these dozens of products and services, I believe that our industry itself needs to evolve into a service that truly satisfies users and makes them feel that this is truly convenient. In other industries, such as e-commerce, it was very convenient when it first came out. However, we often hear people say that they don't know what the best choice is, because there's so much information available, or that they were dissatisfied with inferior products that they received. I feel that the time has come for the internet industry itself to take another step forward and evolve in a different direction. We hope to take on this challenge, and based on our success, we hope to transfer it to other countries. This concludes my presentation for today and the question and answer session. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today.